Good evening, y'all, and welcome back to Apron Strings. I am trying to get back to normal, so maybe this will be a good beginning and I can keep going. I've been outside. I had to run the garbage out to the road and had to water the tomato plants that's up here in the front. Troy had planted about 7-10 celebrity tomatoes, and he had to get cages on all of them, and in all the hoopla and the trying to get everything done, I didn't get cages on them, so they're just kind of flopped every which way, but they're making nice tomatoes. So this morning, before it got too hot, I had to get out there and water those. It's in big old tubs, black tubs. It's like 2 foot deep and real big. That big trees would have been planted in. We bought from some people, made wonderful planters, and they were like 10 bucks a piece. So I've got those making me some tomatoes, and out back I've got tomatoes. But y'all, the reason you didn't get a garden video is because we got an unexpected storm through here, and it had lots of wind. It blew my big basketball goal over. It was crazy. And it blew my tomato cages over, uprooted the tomato plants in my back garden, blew the squash over, uprooted a lot of it. I had the prettiest squash I've ever had. And the cucumbers, they're making a little bit of a comeback. The vines that's down here, but the ones that were up, they were messed up. I may show y'all the destruction, but you won't get to see how nice it looked. But I'm fixing to get back there in the cool of the morning. I've got better sense than to work through the heat of the day, because like this week they're saying we're going to have triple digits. That's pretty hot. So I stay inside and find something to do in here. But I'm going to clean all the beds out and get ready to plant something for the fall. So my peas are looking good. It didn't hurt the peas. Got lots of blooms on them. Now my beans and my green stalk, they kind of, maybe I didn't water them good enough or something. They're stunted a little bit, but I have picked quite a few off of them. So I'm pleased with my green stalks for planting the beans. So I'll be doing a fall crop of beans and herbs and stuff in the green stalks too. But today I want something chocolate. So I'm going to make an easy Chocoholic cake. And this is what I make when I get to craving something, and you can make it in 2 layers and stack it. I always do a 9 by 13 anymore. That's just easier. And I have that neat pan with a lid that fits on it that'll keep it for me. So today I'm going to make this cake and get it in the oven and let it cool and ice it. I'm going to have me a piece of it. And this chocolate cake is probably the only thing I drink milk with. I'm not a milk drinker, but I like milk with chocolate cake. So my friend had told me the other day that, because I buy milk and it ruins, she said, Gay, buy that little package of 3 half gallons at Costco and it'll last 2 months beyond the date that's on it. Well, the expiration date was the end of August, and I've had it 2 weeks. And so, you know, it's still, I only opened one of them and it's still just as good as the day I opened it. So that's a tip for y'all. If you have trouble buying milk, don't have room to freeze it, or it goes bad, think about getting organic milk and it lasts longer. I don't know what the difference is, but there's a difference, because I've got proof out there in the ice box. Okay, I'm fixing to make this chocolate cake. And what I'm going to do first, I think y'all can see, I'm going to mix all of my dry ingredients together in this bowl. And because it doesn't use butter, it uses oil, and then it has the liquids. I'm just going to mix all of the dry ingredients together with a whisk, and then I'll start adding the wet ingredients. Guess I better tell y'all what I had. I had 3/4 of a cup of cocoa, a teaspoon and a half of soda, a teaspoon and a half of baking powders, 1 3/4 cups of flour, and 2 cups of sugar. Now I've got in the microwave here, I've got a cup of water that I need to put boiling water in it. So I'm going to get that heating while I'm doing this. I'm just going to take this as a hard whisk, and I'm going to use it to just blend this real good. Get it all done pretty. Thank you to all of y'all that have checked on me, that have watched my older videos to keep me going. You're such a blessing. and just the caring. I've been blown away by how much you love and care, and you've shown your compassion, and I thank you so much. It's meant a lot to me. It's lonely at my house. I can't peek through this arch and see Troy sitting in there in his chair, and he's not over there at the end of the table where y'all usually catch a glimpse of him. But he's in a better place, and he's not out of breath, and he can walk or run or whatever he wants to do. So I can adjust. It's going to be a time of adjustment, but I can adjust and make it. Thank y'all for the apron orders. I still have some coming in, and it's like every week I make a little bit of money on aprons, and I appreciate it so much. I do appreciate it. Okay, I've got all of these dry ingredients mixed, and it just looks like, you know, the cocoa's a little lighter color because it's got white in there with the sugar and the flour. So now I'm going to add my cup of milk and 2 eggs, and my chickens laid these eggs, so I always break them in another container first. I'm going to get this mixed, and then I'll add the oil. It takes half of a cup of oil. You know, I'm glad that somebody invented mixers, because I don't like stirring thick stuff by hand. It makes my arms hurt right here. They're tired. I'm going to add this oil. I should have put it in the other kind of measuring cup, but I done used all of them, so I used the dry measuring one. Get that oil incorporated, and then we're going to add some vanilla, and we're going to add that boiling water to it. It makes a real thin, runny dough and a real good cake. When we got that storm the other day, we got 2 inches of rain, which was great because we hadn't had any. We needed it. But I'm going to tell you how dry our ground was. The very next day, I had to water. Okay, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And when I get this mixed up, we'll be ready to get that water that it's dinging and telling me it's ready. We'll get this in the oven. I got the June oven heated to 350, and it's going to take about 35 to 40 minutes. Then I'll have to let it cool. I'm going to get my spatula and make sure I've got it all loose in the bottom, or mixed, or whatever you want to call it. And I don't have any cocoa and flour down there that's not mixed. And it's mixed. Now it looks like Hershey syrup. Okay, let me check my recipe card here. Make sure. Flour and cocoa, baking powder, soda, sugar, salt, eggs, milk, oil, vanilla, and a cup of boiling water. Let me get that water out. There we go. Whew, it did. Get it mixed in there. I'm not a chocolate, I don't have to have chocolate all the time, but every once in a while I get a hankering for chocolate, and I got up this morning wanting chocolate cake or pie or something, and I thought I'm going to make that cake because it'll keep, and I'll have something if the kids come by, and I think Richard may come this evening, and I'll have a treat for him. And let me get this cleaned off enough that I can pour this into the pan, and I'll get that done. Get all these in the sink. Let the fairy come through here directly and wash it for me. I am the fairy. Okay, all I did was pound my pan with kitchen spray or whatever they call it, baking spray. I get laughed at for calling it kitchen spray. But that's what I call it usually. Okay, let me get this in here. See, look, it's very thin. It just pours like, I don't know, melted butter. But it sure makes a good cake. Alright, I'm going to get this over in the June oven, and I'm going to check it in about 35 minutes. I'll let y'all know how long I cooked it. Then I'm going to cool it, and I'll be back and we'll ice it. Got to make the icing, you know, powdered sugar, cocoa, the usual. And ice it and get us a piece of it with some milk. We called it sweet milk. We had sweet milk and buttermilk at our house. And regular milk was always called sweet milk, and I still call it sweet milk. Whole milk, sweet milk, whatever. I didn't like any of that 2% or skim milk stuff. I wanted regular milk if I was going to have milk. I'm going to get this in the oven, and I'll be back in a little bit. I brought y'all over to the counter so my cord on my mixer would reach. I'm going to mix up the icing. The cake's still cooking, but I'm going to beat my icing up right quick and have it ready. When it cools down, I can hurry up and ice it. So let me get this softened butter. Might still put it out sooner. It's not quite soft yet. Thought I left it out plenty of time. Since I've got it whipped some, I'm going to let it set for a minute, and then I'll be back and do a little bit more. How's that? Okay, I whizzed it a little bit more with this mixer, and it's kind of together. Now, this is the deal. I'm afraid I'm going to have powdered sugar everywhere, but I might go ahead and put a little bit of that was 3 3/4 cups of powdered sugar and 3/4 cup of cocoa. And I've got about 6 tablespoons of milk over here to use, and I may put it in there in a minute if this gets to flying around too bad. We'll try that and see if it helps the smoke. I could smell, because I sure do like chocolate. I like to smell it when I'm doing something with it. Still can't smell, and y'all, I've tried everything y'all recommended. And that's 6 tablespoons, but it looks like I may need a little bit more. I'm going to have to get a little bit more milk, so let me go to the ice box and get some milk, thin it down a little bit more. It's just too thick. If I can zoom in and let y'all look at my tomatoes. I'm so proud of them, and I have grown a gazillion of these little cherry tomatoes. Let me show you. This is the ones that and the little Sweet Millions was a plant I bought, but these are the ones, man overboard, good grief. These are the ones that I planted the tomato and got plants from it, and then planted them and made the cherry tomatoes. And let me just tell you, I've shared and eat and shared and eat, used them in soup and so forth. The Lord blessed me with an abundance of tomatoes. Get back up here. This is a plant that I bought, and it's black at the top a little bit. These are good too. They got a really sweet flavor to them. Rinse those off and put them back over there, because when I put them over here, they are ready to eat, because we like to go by and eat them for a snack. Get back up there where you belong. Okay, let's add a little bit more liquid to this. And when you make it, I don't know. I guess the humidity has something to do with it. I don't know. Because it usually takes a different amount of milk each time. That's getting about right. Let me scrape it down and get the cocoa off the sides here and get that all mixed in. Got an ice box on the carport that I keep a lot of stuff in, and I didn't want to go back out there, so I used half and half that I had in the house. So it's going to be a little bit richer. Normally, in icing like this, I usually just use canned milk, evaporated milk. Let me taste this. That's going to fix my craving, all right. That is good. Okay, y'all, I cooked the cake for 35 minutes and I've let it cool. It's completely cool. And if my face is red and I look frazzled, I went out to let the chickens out and I saw a few weeds that needed pulling, so I did a few of them, but it's too hot out there. So I came back in and dried my face off and washed my hands. Now I'm going to ice this cake. So I've got my icing made, you know, won't go. And I may have a little extra, but that's okay because it makes it rich and good. And I'm just going to put it, can y'all see what I'm doing? I think you can. I'm just going to put it around on here. There's plenty if you wanted to make, like I said, two layers to ice it and have some from the side. But I generally make a 9 by 13. To me, that's just easier to keep. And all that talk about getting me some sweet milk with this cake, it's too hot right now. I got to cool off some. But I got to get this done where I can get it uploading, and if my internet is too slow, at least it's on. If it's too slow, I'll run to town and try to upload it somewhere. One of those places that gives you free internet. Sometimes I go to Walmart to upload, and oh, it just goes in 10 minutes, I'm done. And sometimes it takes 2 hours. But here, on the 2 hours up there, here would be about 12 hours or more. So if I go to town, I'll get it done quicker, but it's too hot right now to get out and do anything, so I imagine I'm going to see what this will do. Let's see if I have some pecans chopped, and I'm only going to put them on half of it in case my daughter comes. She doesn't like pecans. And I'm going to clean it up a little bit just like this. Is that how you clean it? Okay. I'll show y'all what it looks like. I don't like it all over the pan. I think I have some pecans over here, so let me see if I do. I can put a few on there. Make sure they're still good. Chop just a few right here on the butcher block. Okay, let's just sprinkle half of it with pecans. Maybe 3/4, I don't know. And the rest I'll leave plain. Now, if she don't come up here and she watches this video, my April's going to know that I was thinking about her. At least y'all have something new to look at when you come to apron strings. I'm going to try to do a couple of more and get up at least one more this week, maybe two. Y'all, I'm trying. It's just hard to get back to normal. There's nobody here to eat. Big old mockingbird out there. There's nobody here to eat if I make a casserole. I've got my icebox is full of food I've cooked and it's just there. So I'm trying to come up with stuff that I think will be eaten but that I can share with y'all where you'll have it for your family. I'm still concerned about stock in the pantry. I think that we're going to see some shortages. They keep talking about one thing and another that's not. I heard something about the rice and something about the wheat, and then they were saying you couldn't hardly get ketchup or there was going to be a shortage, and sriracha if you're on to that sauce. I don't know. All I know is your favorite things, you better be getting you a few extras and putting them in your shelf, because you never know what's going to be on the list next. And whatever is listed, I assure you, the powers that be can make it happen and make a shortage. So y'all, be wise. You know, the Bible talks about the conies, which is ants, that they're wise and they stock up in the summer for the winter time. Well, President Biden said a few times there's a dark winter coming. Y'all better prepare for the winter. You better get you some stuff ahead. Have you some extra things. It's not too early to start preparing for the holidays. I told you this last year. There wasn't a great shortage, but you never know. Start putting a few things up each week or two. Make you a list if you have to and say, okay, I got 5 months. I want to get this month and this next month. Get your baking stuff and get it in your freezer where to keep. Prepare so you'll have it just in case. I like to be ready for it just in case. We're still in hurricane season. It's not peaked yet. We haven't had anything yet, but you know what? I'm ready. If it does come, I don't have to worry about what's at the store or what's available. I can just make it for a few days. I don't have enough to feed an army, but I got enough for me to make it a while. So y'all need to do that. Talk to the good Lord every day. He is the source that everything comes from. If He made the world, and He made the plants, and He made the animals, then I would say everything we have that comes from the earth or from the animals comes from Him. So give Him His due praise and thanks. And enjoy your share of what He has provided for all of us. I'll be back as soon as I can. And like I said, I hope once or twice this week, the good Lord bless and keep y'all. Please keep watching my videos. Keep my time rolling. I'm still trying to get back to a normal schedule. And I'm not being a crybaby. I'm trying to be strong. But there's days when I'm not strong. And I appreciate y'all helping me by watching the older stuff and liking it. Give me a thumbs up. Keep me in the role for the YouTube, whatever it is, algorithm. I don't understand all of it. I'm kind of simple in that area. But I know enough to cook, make a video, and edit it and upload it. So I'm going to try to do my best. Gather y'all back at the butcher block. Talk a little bit. Share a little bit of my life and what's going on. And look forward to your comments where I know what's going on at your house and what you like and don't like. And we'll just share life together. How's that? The good Lord bless and keep y'all, and I'll be back soon with another goodie.